Do you feel like you don't want to live anymore? I know I've been there in my life where I've been so low that I have asked this question, like, what's the sense of going on? Like, or not even having the energy to go on and just being like, I just don't want to live anymore. And ultimately, this is the state of apathy. And with Suicide Prevention Week being just last week, I thought I'd make a video about how to transcend this state of consciousness. And the state of consciousness is that low energy state where you're saying, I just don't want to live anymore. And I can completely relate to this state of consciousness. And I'm going to tell you how I was able to transcend that. And hopefully, if you're feeling that way, these steps will help you make the change necessary to finally transcend the state of apathy. So what is the state of apathy? Well, it is that low energy state. It's the state of being the victim. Nothing is happening good to you. It's the language you use is like, of course this happens. This is just my luck. This is the kind of things that someone in victim mindset or in the apathy state of consciousness will say often. And if you say these things to yourself enough, then they become beliefs. A belief is just a thought we keep repeating to ourselves. And without the awareness of the thoughts that we're putting into that we're saying to ourselves every single day, they become belief systems. And once they become a belief system, they get tied to emotions, and then they begin to hold us in that state of consciousness. So how do we transcend this? Because Dr. David Hawkins created a scale of consciousness, and at the very lowest of that scale is shame, and then grief, and then apathy. And apathy is at level 50. The state of consciousness that is most powerful, well, not most powerful, but that we're striving to get to when we're in apathy is we're trying to get to courage. And at the level of courage, everything goes from the place of force to a place of flow. So in order to get out of apathy, we need to do three things. We need to, one, seek help from others, okay? Usually you can't get out of this state, you can't get out of this low energy without someone else trying to bring you up. So wherever that help can come from, it doesn't actually have to be a physical person you could, get the help from reading books, you can get the help from watching YouTube videos, you can get the help from watching documentaries, following certain people on Instagram. That can be where you get the help from. But also getting actual help, calling someone and saying, I need help. I'm at the lowest I've ever been. I don't have the will to go on. Just tell somebody and they're going to direct you and help you, because now that you're going to have a partner in this journey to lift yourself out of this very low state of consciousness. And that's what you're up against. Is the power of apathy is, well, not the power, the lack of power in apathy, I should say, is so powerful that you might not even have the energy to get out of bed. Okay, so this is why we need someone to help us, right? That will actually maybe even physically pull us up out of bed, and we'll be accountable to that person. The second thing is to join some sort of spiritual group, okay? So join a church group, there's Facebook groups online, there's Dr. David Hawkins Facebook groups, buy a program, buy a course, just get into some sort of community. This will really help you lift yourself up, because you're gonna benefit from the level of consciousness of the entire group. That group is going to lift you up, and these groups are all over the place. If you're struggling to find a group, just go to your local church and they'll point you towards any of these groups. And this isn't a religious thing. And if you're worried about the religion, you don't believe in God, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's about being around people that vibrate at a higher state of consciousness than you do, because just by being around them, you're going to come up. The tide raises all boats. And this is essentially what you're trying to tap into. Is you're trying to increase your level of consciousness by just being around other people. You get it by osmosis. The third thing you can do to pull yourself out of this super low state of apathy is volunteer, okay? Start giving to other people. And when you start to give to other people, it'll start to reassure or reconfirm your level of worth. When we're in this state of apathy, we feel worthless and we feel like we're useless and we feel like no one would even care if we were gone. But when we start to volunteer, we start to realize that we do have worth. We can help other people. And I just made a video recently about me being sober for 10 years. I just came to my 10-year anniversary of being sober, and I was able to make that change in my life, completely 100% transform my life with the help of one person. One act of kindness from one person completely transformed my entire life. So imagine if you were able to have that impact. Imagine if you were able to, let's say, you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person and you give him $5, and that $5 was the one thing that completely transformed him to be able to get a good meal, and he was thinking about committing suicide. You gave him that $5. It could be just that one act of kindness, and these are the things that you're going to connect to when you start giving back. You stop making it all about yourself and start making it about others. A shift in consciousness happens there. I guess there's a fourth step as well, is you need to become aware of why you are in this state. So just literally start asking yourself the question when you say things like, I don't want to live anymore. Why? Sit down with pen and paper, really explore this question and try to get to the root of where this feeling began in your life. And when you can start to identify that, when you start to shine the light of awareness on where this started in your life and on why you are feeling this way, you begin to take back your power. It's kind of like, I don't like this example, I gotta come up with a better one, but it's like if you're in a dark room and you shine a light, all the bugs scatter, okay? And this is what you're essentially doing to these negative thoughts and negative belief systems, these negative states of consciousness. Once you begin to shine the light of awareness on them, they don't want to be in that light, right? So this will allow you to transcend those lower states. Just simple awareness. My coaching system is based on 3 steps. 1 is realize, awareness. 2 is release. Become free of whatever that negative state of consciousness is that you're holding on to. In this case, it's apathy, which the way you become free of and release it is to connect to where it began in your life and allow yourself to feel worthless, whatever it may be. And the last is to realign with new habits, new belief systems, new programs that you take on consciously, because all of these negative programs and belief systems you took on unconsciously. So if you do these 4 things, this will begin to help you to lift yourself out of there. So I don't want to leave you right here with that. If you are in the state where you feel like you don't want to live anymore and you clicked on this video and you're watching it, this is your sign. This is the message you've been looking for to make the change necessary to lift yourself up. So do one of these 4 steps immediately as soon as you finish watching this video, and I promise you things will begin to improve in your life.